Hi everyone, welcome back to Shkrets. Today, we're diving into the controversy surrounding the Jenkins family, known online as the Resilient Jenkins. This family has gained a lot of attention on TikTok, sparking both sympathy and criticism. If you haven't subscribed yet, make sure to do so now because we're about to unpack a topic that touches on family dynamics, social biases, and what it really means to be resilient. So here's the setup. The Jenkins family consists of a mom, her 2 daughters, her partner, his son, a young mixed child, and another baby on the way. That's 7 people, all crammed into a 1-bedroom apartment. The kids sleep on mats in the living room while the parents keep the master bedroom for themselves, decked out with neon lights, a PS5, and a flat-screen TV. Now, if that sounds a little off, you're not alone in thinking that. This family has built a following by sharing their challenging living situation. Some viewers see it as a heartwarming tale of resilience. Look, they're all sticking together in tough times, but others, like myself, have a hard time ignoring the glaring issues here. What's bothering a lot of us is that their setup seems less about resilience and more about monetizing a situation that's uncomfortable, especially for the kids involved. Here's where the story gets even more complicated. Some of the support they're receiving feels driven by the fact that this mother is a white woman. Let's be real for a moment. If a black woman were raising several kids in a 1-bedroom, sharing every struggle online, do we think the public reaction would be this sympathetic? It's not a comfortable question, but it's one we can't ignore. Black mothers in similar or even better situations are often criticized, with people quick to ask, "Where's the father?" or "Why so many kids?" Or worse, people suggest CPS should be involved. In this case, though, there's almost an outpouring of grace, and that grace feels selective. Now, don't get me wrong, hard times happen, and many people do find themselves in situations where they're just trying to get by. But there's a difference between dealing with tough circumstances and openly marketing those struggles for attention. In this case, we have to question, are the Jenkins genuinely struggling, or are they performing a narrative of resilience for views? And let's talk about the impact on the kids. They're growing up in a cramped, unstable environment, being shown that their lives are a form of content rather than something to be protected and nurtured. Kids need privacy, stability, and space to thrive, not to be part of a viral story that could vanish the moment the public loses interest. The parents, meanwhile, have made choices that seem to put their own comfort over their children's needs. While the kids sleep on foam mats, the parents are enjoying a cozy master bedroom with all the luxuries. If they're willing to invest in a PS5, flat screen, and neon lights, why not buy bunk beds and give the kids a more comfortable, private sleeping space? Or better yet, why not have the parents take the living room and give the kids the bedroom? That's what most parents in tough situations would do. They'd prioritize their children's comfort over their own. And then there's the father's refusal to work a W-2, as he calls it, unless he's paid a specific rate. He claims he knows his worth and won't settle for less. Meanwhile, he's not fulfilling child support obligations for a child outside the home. He's fine with living off social media donations, all while dodging actual responsibilities. It's one thing to know your worth, it's another to prioritize your children's well-being, regardless of how you feel about traditional employment. Another layer here is the way the mom talks about her partner's good genetics. She frequently highlights his physical features in a way that suggests a bit of a fetishization, as if her partner's race is more about aesthetics than a genuine connection. It's unsettling, especially when you consider the effect this kind of rhetoric can have on their children, who are likely internalizing these messages. What's really striking, though, is that the mom openly hinted that as long as the views keep coming, they'd keep having children. Now, that's a loaded statement. Are we seriously at a point where children are being brought into the world as content creators themselves? I understand that social media can be a lifeline for some, but this feels more like exploitation than resilience. And let's not ignore how this situation contributes to a culture where parenting becomes performative. The Jenkins family's approach has shown us that when you post every hardship online, it stops being just about survival and starts to look like a way to win sympathy and donations. And when people question this, they're often accused of judging or being against the poor. But this isn't about hating on poverty. It's about asking why social media is enabling and rewarding families for putting their children in uncomfortable and sometimes dangerous situations. Think about it. In a one-bedroom apartment with multiple kids, where is the privacy, the space for kids to just be kids? When every moment of their lives is filmed, from bedtime routines to trips to the laundromat, it's not just a family dynamic anymore. It's a performance. And that performance can be damaging in the long run, especially for kids who grow up knowing their private lives are public property. There's another point I want to make. This family seems to be relying on the grace of their supporters, many of whom seem willing to overlook the uncomfortable truths because of this mom's race and the perceived innocence that comes with her image. If this were a Black woman living in similar conditions, I doubt there would be the same level of empathy. Instead, people would be scrutinizing every choice she made, questioning her worth as a mother, and maybe even calling CPS. But here, that scrutiny is softened, and instead, people are jumping to defend the family as just trying to make it. Now, I don't know the Jenkins personally, and I'm not here to assume their entire life story. But when you put every detail of your life online for people to watch, analyze, and support, you can't be surprised when people start questioning your choices. And one choice that I really struggle with is the decision to let their children live in such an unstable environment. Children deserve stability, not a life of foam mats and 2-week-old laundry. And while some might say they're fed, they're loved, that's just the bare minimum. I can't shake the feeling that social media has encouraged people to become comfortable with the idea of kids growing up in less than ideal conditions, as long as the views, donations, and Amazon wishlist items keep coming. It's uncomfortable, and frankly, it's a trend that I find deeply concerning. We should be questioning why social media makes this type of lifestyle acceptable and why there's more empathy when the parents fit a certain demographic. So, what do you all think? Should parents be putting every part of their lives online, especially when it involves their children? Is it fair to these kids who didn't ask to be part of this situation? And let's get real for a second. If this were a different family, one that didn't fit the image of Trailer Park Becky with resilience, would the public be this forgiving? Drop your thoughts below and let's talk about it. Remember to subscribe, keep the conversation going, and be mindful of what you're sharing online. Until the next video, bye.